Hello, my name is Andrew Cardenas. I'm 27 years old and I'm in the United States Air Force. I am from Norfolk, Virginia, born and raised my whole life. I have been in the service for 8 years and I'm currently debating whether or not I'd like to re-enlist. I've always known I want to join the military. I've known it since I was a child. I enlisted at 17, straight out of high school, but I was put on medical hold for some few issues. In the meantime, when I was on hold, I did some local community college. I have one younger brother who just recently finished his enlistment in the Navy. Both my parents are in the Marine Corps, and where they met and of course married. Have been all over the country and the world. I do love to travel, whether it's forced travel for deployment or PCSs, or if it's traveling for leisure. I really like to go to new places. Now that I've given you a small bit of who I am, I would like to tell you a little bit more about my life and a little bit more about myself. Like I said, I'm from Norfolk, Virginia originally. I lived there my entire life. I lived in Hawaii when I was really young. I don't remember it. My parents were stationed there when they were in the Marine Corps, and we eventually moved back to Norfolk. My house was built in 1912, one block away from the beach. Pretty much grew up a beach bum. If I'm not near a body of water, I kind of feel that large body of water. I kind of feel out of place. Both my parents were in the Marine Corps, so discipline was very strict. Just no talking back, respect to elders. If I ever got out of line, which I kind of did as a kid, I did a lot of running and calisthenics. I also did a lot of work around the house, kind of since they did it when they were younger. I did the same thing when I was younger. I've held a job since I was 15. I was doing like 3 different lifeguarding jobs plus lawn mowing. I graduated a year earlier than the rest of my peers in high school, so that was interesting. Now that I've discussed a little bit of my hometown, where I'm from, I'd like to discuss a little bit of my family. I won't go too deep, just kind of scratch the surface, because my immediate family is small, my extended family is extremely large. My mother and father were both in the Marine Corps, got married relatively young. My mother spent 10 years as a personnel troop. My father was a combat engineer for 5 years. They have lived in Okinawa, Japan, Hawaii, and eventually the last duty station brought them back to Norfolk. They've been married for 32 years in October. I have one younger brother. He's 4 years and 4 days, exactly younger than me. Growing up, we used to be called Pork and Bean. He was the pork because he was like short, chubby, kind of heavy set, and I was Bean because I was a skinny beanpole. Eventually he grew into himself, and I guess that makes me the pork now since I'm heavier than him. Extended family's rather large. My father has 8 brothers and sisters, so family reunion time is kind of interesting. They're scattered all across California, from San Diego all the way to Sacramento. Now that we've talked a little bit of where I'm from, who my family is, I'd like to tell you about where I travel to, voluntary and non-voluntary. Travel experiences kind of varied. My first tech school was at Keesler Air Force Base. I had the displeasure of experiencing Hurricane Katrina. Being from Virginia, I experienced quite a few hurricanes, but that was a whole nother ball game. After that, I went to Shaw Air Force Base. I won't talk too much about Shaw Air Force Base since I really didn't like that assignment towards the end, but I really liked Fort Carson. That was my next assignment in Colorado. It was beautiful up in the mountains. I loved it, and I'd go back there. Winters are a little harsh. The temperature didn't raise above -10 for a week. It was really cold. After that, I went to Korea, and then from there I traveled to Thailand, Japan, Jeju Island, which is in Korea. It's kind of like the Korean Hawaii. Beautiful beaches, beautiful sand. It was amazing. So hopefully I've relayed a little more information about myself and to you and who I am. I told you some about my hometown, where I'm from, touched a small bit onto my family, and then most importantly, I like to travel. I have the unique opportunity to see and do many things that has made me realize that the world is very big and there's a lot to see, but as Dorothy from Wizard of Oz said, there's no place like home. I really hope by opening up to the class we can connect more over the next few weeks. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the other speeches, and I have a thick skin, so criticism is greatly appreciated.